Racing on Saturday, the 4th of March 2023. It is racing at Turffontein Standside Track, and it is day 2, classic day, the Hollywoodbets Drift Classic, and it's a WSB SA Classic, and then the Hollywoodbets SA Fillies Classic. Alistair, how are you doing?
Yeah, Raheel, all good. It's obviously a massive weekend. It's the second leg of the newly dubbed championships up on the half out now that the Cape season, feature season is behind us, and now we're on our way to Joburg before the road show really kicks off down in champion season in KZN. It's always an exciting time when potential champions step through, whether they're 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds. We'll learn a lot more after the classic. We always do. For me, it's the most pivotal leg of the entire 3-year-old series, and then obviously Super Saturday tomorrow as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and this KZN champion season looks to be one of the better ones in recent times, and looking forward to it. But race number 1 on the program of what is a 10-race program at Turffontein on Saturday. 11:40 is the time you need to get your bets on for race 1. 1,000 meters the distance. No exotic start in race number 1 on the program. Now, in race 1, Sheldon is your 14-10 favorite. Lucy English at 2-1. Then it's 11-2 and better bar those. Lucy English, despite the rest last time out, absolutely took off late to win quite a nice race, beating the boys. Gone up to 6 points for that victory. Now, she is worse off at the weights with Sheldon, but second up, she's bounced back to a better form, and she's a horse that could confirm that run with Sheldon despite being held at the weights.
Yeah, simply on black and white, Raheel, Lucy English should have the measure of Sheldon. What I would put Sheldon's performance down to, not that it was bad by any stretch of the imagination, but Johan Janssen van Vuren's yard has been awfully quiet. I know they bounced back with a win on Thursday with Fast Love. I think Sheldon will get a lot closer. I think the winner will come between two of them. And if you're lining up your bar pot place accumulator in pick 6, I think boxed exactas 2 and 4 in the first. You're not going to get rich, but it's just going to add a little bit of pound to the wallet.
Absolutely. Horses 2 and 4 look to be the ones that they all have to beat in race number 1. Now we're going to move along to race number 2. And race 2 is the start of the buy pot. And you've got a maiden juvenile plate to deal with in leg 1 of that buy pot. 11:60 the distance, 12:10 the time you need to get all bets on. Lucky Lad 33-10 down 5-2 for the Sean Terry yard. It's horse number 5, Sandarum Summit at around 7-2 in the market. It's Jerusalem Rain at 5-1. He's found quite a bit of support, 8-1 into 5s, and then 5-1 Zoom Bomber, 8-1 and better bar those. Now, number 2, Lucky Lad, 850,000 Rand purchase, and then we've got number 5, Sandarum Summit, who was a 1.7 million Rand purchase. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two colts step out on debut. They're both sons of Give Me the Green Light, and I'm sure that the yards are looking forward to a positive forward performances.
And I remember both of them at the sales. They were both crackers, especially number 5, Sandringham Summit. David Nevenhuizen and his new connections, Rakesh Singh, they left no stone unturned to get this half-brother to Eden Rock. And Eden Rock was an especially good 2-year-old. He obviously won races thereafter, but as a 2-year-old, he was deadly. Of course, he carried everyone's hopes in the Hollywoodbets Durbanville about 5 years ago. Obviously, of the raced runners, number 6, Zoom Bomber, who carries a reputation, by the way. I think that's the best form on offer. Started life in a feature race and wasn't disgraced despite running last behind American Graffiti. If you actually watch closely in that rerun, a few strides past the post, he was in front of everybody. So the extra 160 meters, I think, will suit. I think number 6, Zoom Bomber, is definitely one to watch, but respect the money of number 1, Jerusalem Rain. The mother, Rashuli Breeze, was a very precocious 2-year-old. She didn't train on, so maybe Jerusalem Rain has got the same genetics. 2 and 5. Very well-bred first-timers. And number 7, Butternut and Ray Vane, a daughter of Fire Away. Keegan DeMello takes a ride. He's got the ride because Jared and Lawrence Werners have a share, so he's obliged to. And number 8, Great Barrier, she is at the bottom of the boards. She shouldn't be at the bottom of the boards because her work is very nice. I don't know whether she definitely won't be tuned up to win first time out, but if she's running at them, runs 3rd or 4th, follow her because she's not bad at all.
Fair to say it's going to be a cracking juvenile plate and one to keep an eye on going forward?
Definitely a form line to follow. I think horses that could run 6th and 7th, they could look well beaten. They could step up next time. I think this, you'll never know, but just judging by what I see in front of me, the expectations, the betting movements, this could be a very, very good piece of form to follow.
Spot on. All eyes on horses number 2 and 5, the well-bred individuals and the costly purchases as well. But have a look at the horses moving down to the start. Have a look at the race time support, and then you can possibly make your decision about race number 2, the first leg off the bar part. Now, race number 3, another maiden juvenile plate, this time for the fillies over the 1160-meter trip. And Woman of Fame is at 14-10, Mashavi at 11-2, Crimson Cloud 6-1, along with Red Hot Rose 6-1, Stormy Choice 14-1, and better bar those. Now, Keegan Miller hops aboard Woman of Fame for Sean Terry, supported on debut, beaten behind the horse that was supported as well from the Fabian Habib yard, who's a horse that, if I remember correctly, Alistair, we did the show together, and one that we mentioned, keep an eye on the support, but one that could be looking for a bit more ground in time to come. She got the job done, but Woman of Fame, she sets a standard in black and white here when it comes to the form runners. And to be quite frank with you, I think that she's a horse that they all have to beat. And in terms of the place accumulator, I'd be happy to bank her just on that first run.
I'm not quite as brave as you. My suggested bet is the pick 6, because I don't like the look of this race. I expect number 14, Woman of Fame, to, dare I say, win it, certainly of the race runners, because I do respect Waisha Mowing's runner, number 4, Divine Moonlight, but she's got 4 lengths to turn around with number 14, Woman of Fame. So I think that points to number 14, Woman of Fame, being the right one. But the first time is here, very, very interesting. Number 2, Crimson Cloud. Mrs. Brock, despite being a very, very well-bred mare, hasn't produced much of substance. So I think she's due a good one. So number 2, Crimson Cloud, could well be it. Louis Otwa takes her out for Tony Peter. Louis, of course, is closely associated with the Playgate South Africa syndicate, so that explains that. I'm not mad about the form of number 6, Miss Shavy, out of that run to Global Thunder. She was a well-beaten third. 2 of Corey Lensley's horses ran first and second, and I know that they think Global Thunder's good, and I know they think the second horse who runs on Thursday, I think, Camison's Flight or something, is only going to be a racehorse of a further. So the fact that she got that close over 1,000 metres, I think, puts the rest at question. The 3 first-timers that are most interesting on breeding. Nine Rani of Couture is a half-sister to Maharani. Roy Magna went to the ends of the earth to get this daughter of fire away. I'll watch her closely. 10 Red Hot Rose. I think that she will come into her own when she goes up a little bit further. The half-sister, whose name escapes me, Kabelo Matsunyani, always rides her. She got one style of running, runs in the same colours, full Mark de Kock. Got one style of running, she goes to the front. She often doesn't stay there. Is
that horse Fireflower?
Fireflower, that's her name. You would remember her because she stuck you out a few times. And then number 13, Stormy Choice. I think that she could also possess a little bit of ability. So those are the 3 first-timers that I'm most interested in. 14, Woman of Fame in the place accumulator. Plus, I'm not going to reveal my second number because I don't have a second number yet. But of the 3 first-timers, the one that finds the most support, I'll back up with number 14, Woman of Fame.
Yeah, keep a close eye on the first-timers as they move down to the start. And, of course, when it comes to these juveniles, follow the market. And just to add to number 14, Woman of Fame, Sean Terry is in absolutely smashing form when it comes to these juveniles this season. And Woman of Fame could be another one to add to that tally of winners. Now, we're going to move along to race number 4, which is the start of the big one, the Pick 6. And you can expect a bit of carryover in that Pick 6 on Saturday. It is a maiden plate for the fillies and mares over the 1160-meter trip. And your favorite in this lineup is number 1, Pour Some Sugar on Me. Even money favorite here, beaten behind Winter Muse and Austin Kerr last time out. It's then Avoon Toast at 5-2 in the market. That's the Joey Sommer first timer, 3-year-old daughter of Twice Over. And then it's 8-1 and better bar those. Now, Alistair, horse number 8, Avoon Toast, daughter of Twice Over out of a Casey Tibbs mare, would indicate that she's looking for more ground in time to come. And Pick 6 wise, would you bank at number 1, Pour Some Sugar on Me, given that she sets the standard in terms of form, or you gone with another horse?
Well, let me just get the first bit of information out. Joey Somers comments at the front of the computer form about number 8 Avo on Toast. Whatever they mean is get your salt and pepper ready. She's a half-sister to Red Saxon, who of course won a Group 1 on this day last year, won the South African Classic. So yes, the bottom line is she should win further. However, Joey Somers had a few first-time winners that have been supported, and she's currently at around 5-2. So just watch out for a good run. She could well win, but remember, you also get a first-timer for free if the first race runner home is in your pick 6 pair. So that's why I've left out number 8, Avo on Toast. I've gone with numbers 1 and 3. Pour some sugar on me. I hate to say it, I don't think she's a superstar. It's her best opportunity to win. Ashley Fortune and Ryan Munger are absolutely firing at the moment. The pieces of form that she brings in are obviously the most appealing pieces of form in the race. But coming back 6 days later, I hope that she doesn't run flat this time around, because I thought she ran a good race in defeat to Oz and Kerr last time. She was simply best of the rest. But I do worry about a 6-run gap. So I've backed her up with a horse that did me favours in her penultimate start, number 3, Happy Vibes. I know that she was well beaten in that run to Winter Muse last time out, but difficult, the report, according to the starts, was difficult, slow, and hurt head. So ignore the run of number 3, Happy Vibes. I think that she'll be bang there. And I've gone 1 and 3 in the first leg of the pick 6. And I'll be starting her number 3, Happy Vibes. I think she's a good each-way player in the opening leg of the pick 6.
Yeah, I'm sure Joey Sommer should have a fair line about his first timer with Winter Muse, who did beat Pour Some Sugar on Me. And obviously, if this horse, number 8, is better than Winter Muse, then she should come through and get the job done. But yeah, Winter Muse was well fancied on that occasion. So let's see how number 1 goes, and horse number 3 as well, Happy Vibes. Both race runners, and they'll be looking to get that maiden out the way in the opening leg of the pick 6. Moving along to race number 5, the first of our features on the afternoon. This is the World Sports Betting Hawaii Stakes over 1,400 meters. 13:55 is the time you need to get involved in all bets. And William Robertson, your 2-1 favorite. It's 9-2 about Puerto Manzano, 7-1 Red Saxon, 8-1 and Better Bar those. Now, I was reading an article on Sporting Post just this morning, and yeah, Marco van Rensburg mentioned that William Robertson, the best sprinter in the country. Not convinced about that, but yeah, he won a nice race last time out, set the course record, I think it was, when winning over the 1160, beating Quantum Theory. 62 kgs did not bother him at all. 3 from 3 over course and distance. He's on a quick backup, however, Alistair. Rest plus 2 stats read 2 from 2. Is he a good thing in this lineup, or is he vulnerable on that quick backup?
Well, my logic of Pour Some Sugar on Me, Raheel, comes back with number 4, William Robertson. If it wasn't a 6-run break, remember William Robertson was carded to race 3 weeks ago during all the rain, and his prep run for this race was ultimately abandoned. So last week that was an added race, wasn't part of the program. So it's obviously done William Robertson a good deal of good, you know, stepping out and getting his seasonal debut out of the way. And it was a good, cozy win over Quantum Theory. I thought he won easier than the margin suggested. But if this race doesn't come too soon, I'll make him a good thing. But because he's back, and Cornet Spies can do it, he's one of the few that I confidently say can do it, but because he's back 6 days later, I'm just a little bit skeptical whether he can bring his absolute best. You know, his 90% of his game could well be good enough to win this race. I think this is what he's tailor-made for. He's a top sprinter, best in the country. We'll see during champion season. I suppose he was second to Captain's Ransom in the Mercury Sprint, but I think Hollywoodbets Scottsville's big day, I think, will suggest a lot with the likes of Gimme a Prince likely to turn up, and I don't know if Bereave will make the trip down to KZN, but it'll be interesting all the same. William Robertson will be one of those. He'll be looking to lay some sort of claim to being the best sprinter in the country, and I'm sure he'll probably target the Hollywoodbets Gold Challenge as well. But with all that said, best horse in the race over this distance, number 4, William Robertson. His biggest danger could be number 3, Red Saxon. Joey Somer and Samango Kamalo team up. I've always maintained, even though it sounds ridiculous, he's a Group 1 winner over 1,800 meters, but he fell across the line beating Safe Passage in the South African Classic. Another stride, I reckon there was a different winner. And I still think over 1,800 meters he's vulnerable, but 1,400 meters and 1,600 meters, more specifically for the HF Oppenheimer horse Chestnut, which is a month away, will be tailor-made for him. I think this could be the right type of race to see number 3, Red Saxon, to some sort of good effect. A lot of horses that I think are targeting races to come. Puerto Manzano, too short for him. MK's Pride, I don't really know what's happened since leaving Paul Peters' yard. It doesn't seem to be the same horse. It's the first run for Robbie Sage. At his best, he'll be dangerous. In fact, I deleted him from my pick 6. I had number 2, MK's Pride, and I thought better or worse of it. Bing was obviously prepping, 126 days off. Forever Mine I prefer on the inside track, and you know, from the others under your spell, I reckon we'll be targeting the Emperor's Club. So I think by default, the 2 most solid options here are 4 William Robertson on top and 3 Red Saxon to be a danger.
Yeah, I've gone with a couple of other horses. Well, a few more horses. That's 6, 7, and 9. I've included Forever Mine, Under Your Spell. And then the roughie in the race for me is number 7, Irish Tractor, from a good draw. Gate number 2. Last time out, ran 2.5 lengths behind Savannah Storm. And the fact that he's unbeaten over the distance just made me want to include him, and from a good draw. I think he's a horse that could run well for Kabelo Matsunyane, who's riding at the top of his game at the moment. So 20-1 in the market, I thought could be a nice lurker in race number 5. But William Robertson, the horse that they all have to beat, and if the quick backup doesn't affect him, then he should take some beating in race number 5, which is the Hawaii Stakes, a grade 2 over 1,400 meters. Now we're going to move along to race number 6, and this is the Wilkebos Drift SA Fillies Classic, 1,800 meters the distance. It is a grade 1. Feather Boa, your 18-10 favorite. It's then 7-2 Lady of Power, the fillies Guineas winner when getting the job done last time out. 8-1 about Renee, 8-1 none other, 10-1 and better are those. Now, Alistair, Lady of Power caught us all by surprise when winning last time out. She came from a fillies and mares 73 handicap, beating Silver Clock to get the job done when she beat Feather Boa. Whether she can repeat the dose, I am not convinced at all, despite Pierre Stradom retaining the ride. She's now moved to the Michael and Adam as a yard. And for me, horse number 2, Feather Boa, I think is going to take a power of beating. She's got the draw. She's going to be a lot closer to the action. Richard Fourie gets on well with her. And I think that she's going to be tough to beat. A banker in all bets for me.
It's for me as well, number 2, Feather Boa. I can't see her getting beaten. The extra distance will suit. I know it's Stuart Pettigrew, thinks of this daughter of Flower Alley. Every time she, I hate to do this to Stuart, but I also love doing it to Stuart because he would do it to me if the roles were reversed. Every time she gets beaten, I send him a message saying, how's that champion going? She keeps running second. And by the way, she's owned by very, very good friends of mine. I play golf with Wayne Jackson, Mark Campbell and Clint Valjalo a lot. They are world-class guys, and Anton Marks doesn't play golf with us. I don't think he plays golf at all, but he's also a top guy, and I love yanking that chain. But I think the message come 2:35 on Saturday afternoon is going to be, well done, boys. I always knew she was in the brass. She deserves it. She's knocking on the door. Her style of running will suit 1,800 meters. Her breeding will suit 1,800 meters. She was unlucky last time. Another stride. She beats Lady of Power. And also the change of yard for Lady of Power. And Mike and Adam Azzi are world class. There's no doubt about that. But decisions like that with top horses come back to bite. And I think the bad draw is one of the factors against her. So number 2, Feather Boa for me, all over. If you're looking for a danger, funny enough, I think it could be number 4, Emma Regina.
That's from the Roy Magna yard with Raymond Danielson aboard. But for Alistair and myself, it's all about number 2, Feather Boa. And we're looking to see her in the winner's enclosure and notch up her grade 1, her first grade 1, this SA Fillies Classic over 1,800 meters for the Stuart Pettigrew yard. And bang in form, Richard Fourie. Now we're going to move along to race number 7, which is the SA Classic over 1,800 meters. And this one here is going to be a fascinating event, Alistair, because we see Eye of the Prophet, Royal Victory. They go head-to-head once again here. Now, Eye of the Prophet, must be said, shock winner when getting the job done, beating Royal Victory. And then, Royal Victory, he's a horse that's going to run well. Whether he'll be able to go well over 1,800 meters as he does over 14 and 16, we will have to wait and find out. But Billy Bowlegs, you mentioned to me that you fancy this horse quite strongly.
I've been singing Billy Bowlegs' praises on the show since his last run on the 22nd of January. I didn't know at the time that he was going to miss the Guineas, but maybe that's a blessing in disguise. The draw is a slight worry, but the way that he runs, I'm sure he'll turn off at the back of the field. If they walk, I'd be worried about number 7, Billy Bowlegs. But my line of thinking here is that over 1,800 meters, for me, he's got the best turn of foot in the race. So I've got 4 horses on my pick 6. There are 3 East Coast, 4 Royal Victory, 7 Billy Bowlegs, and 8 Electric Gold. Royal Victory, I think, is obviously got the ability, and he would be a very deserving Group 1 winner after all his near misses, for example, at Hollywoodbets Greyville in the Premier's Champion Stakes on Gold Cup Day, and going close in races like the Dingons and the Gauteng Guineas, which are obviously Group 2. So he would be a very deserving winner, but I don't know whether he can sustain his burst over 1,800 meters on a long straight. It's no secret that he's been boarding with Mike de Kock since arriving in Joburg in October, and Mike's continued the good work that Nathan Cotson did with him down in and Durban. 3 East Coast has obviously been targeting this race. He'll be better in this and even better in the South African Derby. 8 Electric Gold, I think, is the biggest danger to number 7, Billy Bowlegs, because of the way he finished off last time. And I can't shake off the idea that had the Gauteng Guineas been another 200 metres, he runs past Eye of the Prophet and Royal Victory. But I think Billy Bowlegs just missing the Gauteng Guineas going and having a quieter prep. The way that he turned it on over this course and distance in the Sea Cottage 41 days ago, I know beating none other, but also giving none other weight. I know in the penultimate run over this distance, he has got a bit of work to do with the weights with Eye of the Prophet. But there I thought he was still a bit of a puppy, and he looked a different horse coming out last time out. The better the pace, the better for him. The same can be said for my second choice, number 8 Electric Gold. But I just think that the target that Alec Laird has set for this horse, number 7 Billy Bowlegs, is all in his favour, and I think that he is going to reward the judgment that I've had on him for the last couple of starts.
Yeah, Billy Bowlegs, certainly a horse on the up, and I have to agree with Alistair when his numbers there, 3, 4, 7, 8. Just one horse that I've thrown into the mix is number 1, Shoemaker, because I refuse to believe he's as bad as his last 2 outings. Alistair, just quickly, number 1, Shoemaker, what do you think the thinking was last time out? From a 13 out of 16 draw, going to the front, and he just ran a terrible, terrible race. Reported not striding out on that occasion.
I don't know what to put it to, because the first thing I thought, and I hope Richard Fourie doesn't watch this. I hope no one in his family watches this. Richard Fourie, out of how many rides does he have a season? 1,000 rides a season. It's a hypothetically 1,000 rides a season. 999 of them. I don't question what Richard Fourie is doing. That was the one time this season where I've gone, Richard, what are you doing? It was probably worth a try to see if he could quicken from the front, because he had obviously one style of running before that. From a bad draw, you have 2 options. If you don't try, you don't know, I suppose. But I don't expect him to be bouncing out the stalls and going to the front this time around. I think Mark de Kock will tie Richard Foury's hands behind his back in the parade ring and say, right, untie these at the 400.
Yeah, absolutely, and we all want to see how Shoemaker can go over 1,800 meters, and he's certainly a horse that does have a higher reputation, and hopefully he can bounce back to his better form. But for Alistair, number 7 Billy Bowlegs, a top choice, and for me, I'm going to be with number 8 Electric Gold, with Cabello Martignane, Sean Terry teaming up. Some good value at around 12 to 1 in the market after his last performance. Now we're going to move along to race number 8, which is the Europa Point Drumstar Handicap, 1,800 meters the distance, and your favorite in this lineup here is Litigation at 5 to 2. It's 5 to 1 Pyromaniac, 11 to 2 Flashy Apache, 6 to 1 About Johnny Hero, 10 to 1 and Better Bar those. Now I've gone with 5 horses in the jackpot here: 2, 3, 4, 11 and 12. And Alistair, take us through your thought process when it comes to your numbers in the pick 6 in race number 8.
My numbers here are 2, 3, and 10. Please put in number 10, Razor Hallelujah. He'll make sure that you go in with 6 horses. I think Litigation is the one that they all need to beat, because he comes in the best form. I think Sean Terry has always maintained that his 4-year-old career will be his breakthrough. Gavin Larena takes the ride. Whether it's by hook or by crook, Asterix is a withdrawal, and I think he was put in just to make sure that Litigation doesn't carry top weight. So he's been scrapped. So Litigation comes in with 58.5 kilos, which I think is fair, and puts a couple of horses under sufferance in this race. So yeah, number 2 Litigation won the Victory Moon. If you can win the Victory Moon despite having 51 kilos, you should be able to be a huge player in the Drumstar Handicap, which is of course over the same course and distance. It was hard fought last time over a stable companion, Nebras. Nebras was finishing strongly, but I think he'll be better for that run. It was his first start after a 3-month break. So 2 Litigation, my top choice. 3 Johnny Hero, was pleasing to see him back in winning ways last time over 1,400 meters when he finished strongly to get the better of Ndlamo. He needed his first run back after 9 months off the racetrack. He's always been a good horse. So he's definitely a player. And if you go to the reason why I'm telling you to put number 10 Razor Hallelujah in, even though he's not quite 100% at his best. He's close. He's very, very close to his best, but he'll be targeting races over the next 6 months, with this being a possibility of running a huge race. But if you go to the run in the Summer Cup, Razor Hallelujah has every horse around him ice cold, and he was given no chance. The draw was no good, so you have to take your medicine. He was the only horse who raced 3 wide the entire track, and he was beaten 6 1/4 lengths by Proto Manzano. So 3 lengths behind Litigation, and coming in with a 6.5 kilo turnaround. Do not let number 10 Razor Hallelujah run loose, because also in that run in the Summer Cup, confirmed he ran well above his rating. Last time, different tactics didn't work. Much like Shoemaker, it was probably worth in a small field just to see if he could be ridden positively and finish off the race. He can't. He'll be ridden for luck, I'm sure, from a good Royal Tuck in behind, and with a likelihood of pace in the race. Number 10 Razor Hallelujah will be finishing at them.
Yeah, Alistair, I'm glad you mentioned number 10 Razor Hallelujah, because when I had a look at him, that exact same Summer Cup run is the one I went to, and has Litigation stone cold at the weight. But then I had a look at his last start, and I was just thinking to myself, what on earth happened last time out? Because yeah, I thought he'd go close to winning in that lineup when Zeus was the eventual winner. But I'm glad you've given me a bit of confidence, and he's a horse that I'll certainly throw into the mix. And then just number 11 and 12, 2 other horses that I've thrown in. Now, Infinite Wonder, he returned off a lengthy layoff last time out when finishing 8th behind Johnny Hero. And just based on the fact that Paul Match's stable is in some good form, and especially Gabriel Peterson is riding well for him at the moment. So I've just thrown this horse into the mix despite the quick backup. And then number 12, Flashy Apache, who got close to Litigation last time out, beaten 2 lengths, 52 kgs on them back. Ryan Munger gets on well with him. And for the Tyrone Zaki, this horse is clearly improving, and he's on the up at the moment, I think, and he's a horse that I think could just run well in this lineup. But it's certainly a race where Litigation does look to be the horse that they all have to beat after his win last time out. But a race, when you look past him, it becomes quite competitive. Race number 9 on the program, you need to get your bets on by 4:15. It's merit rated 76 handicap over the 1160 meter trip, and a race where, yeah, quite competitive. Alistair, what's your numbers in the pick 6? Because this is a race where you're possibly going to need the field.
Well, I've gone field because I think I've kept it quiet in the opening legs. I've gone field. It's a very complex race. There's mixed pieces of form. I must be honest, when I got to this race and started studying it, I got halfway through my normal procedure and I just said, no, I'm not going to try much harder. I'm not going to come up with a strong opinion on this race. If there is a nice place bet in this race, it's probably number 10 in the ether. Currently trading at around 12 to 1. I think that represents a bit of value. Peter Sunday and Paulie and Grant Maroon won with a huge price winner on Thursday in the form of Rattlebag. I think she could be the roving banker in trifectas and quartets and an each-way player. On the run on the 22nd of February, she beat Mescal and Smith and Wesson, 2 horses that I think have reasonable claims in this race. So that's my line of thinking, using number 10 in the ether as my rover. Very, very tricky race. No strong opinion. Got to try and set something each way, number 10 in the ether.
Tough race to end off the pick 6. Number 4, Back to Basics, did quite a few things wrong on debut, but he still managed to get the job done, back in business rather, and he's a horse that is 1 from 1. Joey Soma, Samanga Kumalo teaming up here. Just keep an eye on this individual. He could be well above average and a lot better than this field. And then Angel of War, good run last time out behind Good Queen Bess in a stronger race. Down in class, Rachel Vinica aboard once again. He's a horse that could run well, but a competitive race to close off that pick 6, and all the best if you're heading into race number 9. You run in that pick 6, you want as much cover as you can possibly have in race number 9. One more race to end the day here, and that's going to be race number 10, which is a maiden plate over 1600 meters. Get your bets on by 16:55. Jet Dynasty, even money favorite. Mo the Man, scratched midweek. I think it was yesterday when he was scratched. And he'll be running on Saturday. It's now Yurma Sunshine at 6 to 1. On the guest list, 17 to 2. It's in 12 to 1 and better bar those. Now, Jet Dynasty, last time out, Keegan DeMillo rode him, and I thought quite a good ride from Gabriel Peterson to get global impact home, going from start to finish. Is Jet Dynasty a good thing in this lineup, Alistair?
Good thing strong. I think he's the horse they need to beat. I think he was undone by the inside track last time, so I'm willing to forgive him. He is, without doubt, top of my list. I see he's even money. I think he'll win, but I'm going to try and make a little bit of money with number 10, You're My Sunshine here. I'm going to take boxed exactas on the last race, 1 and 10. You're My Sunshine has absolutely no pace in both of his starts. He's out of a mare who was trained by Brett Crawford, who stayed all day, and You're My Sunshine now stepping up to a mile. I don't know if there's a temptation to try blinkers on You Are My Sunshine. Just the way that he runs, the first thing that crossed my mind last time was I watched him quite closely. First time I thought, after watching him, will Alec Laird try blinkers? I'm sure after watching that he's got to be tempted. I see no declaration yet. Maybe he won't try blinkers. Maybe the fact that he's going over distance doesn't want him to pull or do too much. So it's probably worth having a look and seeing if a mile plus is his game. But he still finished off his race, both his races, very, very strongly. I see there's been support for him, so I've missed the boat on number 10, You Are My Sunshine. I honestly don't think we'll be in trouble come race number 10. I think that the card is set up in a way that punters are going to have a good day. I hope they do. And just to put the cherry on top, box exactas in the last 1 and 10.
Yeah, 1 and 10 for Alistair to close off proceedings. Jet Dynasty, the one that they all have to beat from the Sean Terry yard with Richard Fourie aboard, and hopefully everything goes according to plan throughout the day. So race number 10 doesn't need to be a get-out stakes. Now we're going to move along to the suggested bet part of the show, and Alistair will take us through his suggested bet, which is the pick six. And Alistair, take us through that suggested bet, the pick six of yours.
Yeah, it'll be a big pool. Standalone Saturday, Group 1 racing Saturday, so big pool ahead, so gives a bit of help for punters to hopefully scoop the lot. 20 past 1 is when the pick six gets underway. I've gone 1 and 3 in the first leg. Just to remind you, you get the first timer for free if the first race runner home is in your perm, so respect any talk, any money for number 8 Avo on Toast. But 1 and 3 for me in the first leg, by 3 and 4 in the second leg with William Robertson, a pretty confident first selection over Red Saxon. By banker 2 Feather Boa, I think that Stuart Pettigrew will pick up his 5th Group 1 win in his career. By 3, 4, 7 and 8 in the South African Classic, very keen though on Billy Bowlegs. By 2, 3 and 10 in the Drumstar, the Europa Point Drumstar handicap, and then Field in the last, because that is the hardest race on the card by a long way.
Pick six is certainly the bet that you all want to catch, and that's where the money is. Now we're going to have a look at my suggested bet, which is Jackpot 1. And leg number 1, Jackpot 1, race number 5, 4679. That's 4679 in the Grade 2 Hawaii Stakes, followed by banker 2 Feather Boa by 13478, by 234, 11 and 12, and it will just cost you 100 Rand for 1 times 10%, 10 Rand. Alistair, thank you very much for all of your help with the racing on Saturday at Turffontein, and enjoy Super Saturday at Maidan.
Cheers, Rahil. Yeah, I'll certainly be keeping an eye on everything at Turffontein. I always do. Even if it was racing at Flamingo Park, I would have been keeping an eye on it if there was Super Saturday on the same day. So, yep, great day for all racing fans. You don't want to miss it. Hopefully it's a day that all your dreams come true.
Spot on. All the best, guys. Hopefully you manage to make loads of cash on Saturday and you find all the winners.